My camera is not steady. Hold on, let me try this again.
Are we live?
Yes. Okay, yes, we are. Let me refresh my screen.
Yes.
You see it?
Yeah.
Why don't I see it? Ah, there we are. There we are. Okay, cool. Okay. Is my fan loud or is it just... Can you hear it on your end?
I don't think so.
No? Okay. Hello, everyone. We're going to give it another minute or so before I start the reading. Hopefully more folks will hop on here. Hope you're well, and whatever comes through for the general love forecast today, hopefully it's a good message. And my daughter Cameron is our moderator here today, guys. So if you have any questions about getting a personal mini reading done today, we'd love to be able to do that for you. All right, so I'm going to start with the general love forecast, the overall collective energy for whoever is tuned in. And then we'll get into personal mini readings for anybody who is in need of guidance regarding your situation. It doesn't always just have to be love related. It could be financial. It could be career, you know, friendships, whatever it is. All right, so I'm going to start. So for some reason or other, I was just drawn to do a collective reading focusing on the Divine Masculine. I have some decks that I'm drawn to for this particular live reading. So let's see. Let's see what presents itself here, guys. Angels and spirit guides, please, for whoever is tuned in or will watch this after it's been broadcast. What's the starting message focusing on the Divine Masculine here? So for those of you who are focused on a masculine, and typically I do channel for those of you who are in separation or at least going through some challenges in your relationship. All right, so here we go. Let's see. We have inner growth. That's coming through. Okay. I feel since again, I'm focusing on the masculine, maybe they've really needed to work on parts of themselves that have been struggling, you know, maybe their own personal growth and how they conduct themselves in their partnerships and their relationships. We do have Epiphany coming through as well. So I'm feeling on behalf of the masculine, they maybe needed time away from you, Divine Feminine, in order to gain this clarity that's coming through in this reading. It's like that aha moment, you know? So maybe when you guys were together and going through stuff, they were just too close to the fire, so to speak, that they couldn't even make the right decisions for themselves. So that might have translated in them not being the best partner for you. So let's see. Let's grab some additional messages focusing on the Divine Masculine here. What do we have? Vulnerability. And again, this is focusing on the masculine specifically for now. So part of that vulnerability from your masculine, if you relate to that, could be relating to maybe no contact. They could be fearful of either what you would say or maybe the rejection of a potential communication from the masculine. Look at that. We have iced out. We also have burnt out. So Divine Feminine, if you relate to this reading already, this to me reminds me of the Queen of Swords, you know, which can equate to maybe sometimes a cold vibe towards the masculine, especially if the masculine ended up hurting you. You know, you can only give so much in a relationship if the other person just isn't doing what they're supposed to be doing or playing the role that they need to play in the relationship. So I'm feeling maybe a bit of an imbalance in the connection between the two of you. And more than likely, we have a masculine that contributed to that. And then we do have union coming through here. So ultimately, Divine Feminine, I am picking up that we have a masculine who still thinks about this, coming back into union with you. But it's been a difficult road. They needed to definitely learn what life was like without you, you know. Let me go ahead and see what other masculine energies are presenting itself here. Focusing on the Divine Masculine, what do we need to know here? We have faith. Possibly losing faith over, you know, whether or not he can make this work or do whatever is necessary, put in the effort, right, to be able to come towards you as the partner that you really needed your masculine to be. Because we're seeing the union card right here, but there's also this burnt out energy right next to it. It's like the masculine wants this, but at the same time, it's almost like he's losing faith that this can ever happen. And this is the next card. We do have guarded. So he's a little bit hesitant. We're also getting conflict. Take it if it makes sense, guys, especially if there was some sort of third-party scenario here between you and your masculine, which could be why you are not together at this point in time, or why you've decided to just break things off, you know, no interaction. Look at this. We have temptation. So yeah, the way it's coming through for the masculine there, whatever this temptation represents, it's like crossing boundaries, crossing the line, doing something that they know would create this conflict between the two of you. And then lastly, we do have the masculine shadow card. So that's basically letting us know that perhaps what the masculine needed to do here was to be able to do that shadow work so that they can release perhaps some of the issues that they've been holding on to for a very long time. That could be part of the work that this masculine has worked through. So let me set these guys aside and let's see what else needs to come through here. Angels and spirit guides, please focusing on the Divine Masculine for this reading. We've got the Ten of Cups. Love, marriage, family, happily ever after, dreams coming true. Beautiful energy from the Ten of Cups. I feel part of the issue, for some of you anyway, could have been that they were non-committal. They weren't ready to get married. They weren't ready to move in together or start a family. That could have been the very thing that broke you guys up because they were on a very different page. That's a possibility here. We have the Star, okay, and then we've got the Ace of Swords. So going back to, where's that card? The need for clarity, I feel. There's the Epiphany. Okay, there we go. Epiphany, and then the Ace of Swords representing the clarity. Very similar energy, you know, needing to really have that epiphany moment to be able to realize, okay, this is the feminine that I'm really needing in my life, wishing to reconnect with you. But at the same time, Divine Feminine, you know, we've got iced out representing, I feel more of your energy. And maybe you did cut your masculine out. And so it's one of those situations where the masculine really needed to experience life without you. Look at that. You're coming in with the energy of the Empress. And we've got the Two of Cups. I feel in your heart of hearts, Divine Feminine, you still care for your masculine. You have a lot of love in your heart for him. But at the same time, you know, you can't do all the work in the relationship. Your masculine is going to have to meet you halfway. And I feel that was an issue before, if you relate to this particular scenario coming in. You know, we've got 10 of Cups and 2 of Cups, both representing long-term commitment. And then we've got the 6 of Swords. So right now I feel the relationship is definitely going through some changes, even though you guys might be apart, at a distance, no contact, or whatever challenges you guys might be going through, because there's something tied into the past that is perhaps causing some sort of issue or preventing you guys from coming into union. And for my feminines, again, take it if it makes sense. If you've already moved on from your masculine, that could have been an issue as well. You know, he's wanting to come into union and maybe you've moved on. Maybe you've already found somebody else at this point. So he can be a little bit fearful of that it's too late. We've got the Ace of Cups. So this is a masculine who's really wanting a new chapter, another opportunity to reconnect here. But it's also really important for the masculine to be able to focus on self-love as well, to be the partner that you really need him to be, you know. 8 of Cups. That's followed by the 9 of Pentacles. So the 9 of Pentacles is a very solo energy, independent. And one of two things is coming through for me. Either your masculine needed to break free from the connection because there could have been someone else in the picture, could have been a third party, or once you were able to really find empowerment through yourself, Divine Feminine, you know, this is a masculine, again, who needed to experience life without you. So it could have been you that decided to walk away. And now we have maybe a single masculine here still wanting to come into union with you. But I do feel there's been an energy shift here with the 6 of Pentacles. There's this equality coming through with that card. So it is an equal give and take. It's not about one person doing all of the work in the relationship. It's about two people being able to truly give to each other. So that's a really nice energy. And then we've got the Wheel of Fortune here, guys. So you were destined to meet in this lifetime, yes. And if you are going through some challenges by way of a separation, you guys are not talking, something happened. This could also be current energies where you're going through this right now. But it does seem, especially for those who are apart, that, you know, this love story, it's not done. There are more chapters to this situation. And I feel this could be a person that will come back around for you guys to be able to address the issues and overcome it. That's what I'm getting there. So far, we have a masculine energy that's basically letting you know, Divine Feminine, that they're really wanting to revisit the connection. So let me go ahead and grab some words, focusing on the Divine Masculine still. And if you just now hopped on, guys, this is the general love forecast for the live stream. And then anybody who's interested in getting your own mini reading, I'll go ahead and open it to anybody needing guidance on any subject line. So that information is in the comments if you're interested. All right, so let's go ahead and grab some words from the masculine here. What does the masculine need to say to the feminine? We have lost forever. Tell me, how do I go on knowing that you are the reason my heart knows true love, but you and I can never be? That might be a reality for some of you guys. Maybe you know that it's a finite amount of time that you spent together, and that this is something that cannot be revisited for whatever reason. In some instances, it could be because of a third party involvement. You know, either one of you was married or taken, or the other person was, and that makes it a very complicated situation. So you guys had your time together, but this is somebody coming through in this reading basically saying that it can never be again. Maybe that makes sense for some of you. Let's see what else. Angels and spirit guides, please, for the collective. What else do we need to know here? I lost my heart to you. Just the verbiage, you know, lost, feeling empty. When you left, you took my heart. There is an empty space where I have been bleeding out ever since. Wow. That kind of reminds me of like a Three of Swords type energy. Let me grab one more and then we'll clarify with tarot. Focusing on the Divine Masculine here. Two cards presenting itself. We'll pull them. I dream of you. You visit me in my dreams to remind me of the connection that we share. You could be dreaming of this person as well, guys. And then we have not over you. Those sweet memories just keep coming back along with the dreams about what could have been. So both of these cards focusing on the dreams that they're having about you. And if you relate to that, maybe lately you've been thinking a lot about this person as well. And then both of these cards focusing on the emptiness that the masculine is feeling because you are not in his life right now. So let me go ahead and clarify that with some tarot here. Angels and spirit guides, please, for the collective energy. What do we need to know here? Focusing on the masculine. It's definitely focusing on the masculine. Here we are with the Emperor card. So here's the thing. If your masculine just was not either ready for commitment before, or they hurt you somehow, it doesn't always have to be third party, but for some of you guys, it could have been. So if he's now coming in as this very empowered emperor, I feel the goal is to really take necessary action to be able to repair the damage of whatever happened. Maybe communication needs to get started. So this could be a masculine who reaches out to you, Divine Feminine. That could be a possibility. Let's see what else. Look at this. All right, so we've got the Seven of Swords that is followed by the Lover's card. So Aries is presenting itself here, Gemini as well, or even just air signs. So Gemini as well as Libra and Aquarius coming through. We see the Seven of Swords. So this could have been a masculine that was deceitful in some way, shape, or form. Again, it doesn't have to be infidelity, unless that's what happened. The Lover's card can also represent love triangles at times, but it can also be picking up off of the chemistry, the love, the attraction that the two of you feel towards each other. It's just that it's right next to the Seven of Swords. So I'm finding that this could have been part of the challenge and that they lied to you or they kept this hidden somehow. You know, an affair, third party, some sort of involvement where boundaries were crossed. And more than likely, that's why they lost you or you lost them. All right, let's see what else here. Ace of Pentacles, followed by the Two of Swords. So we do have a situation here that's at a stalemate right now. So maybe you feel like you guys are just at an impasse. That could be for situations like this card right here, where they really do feel, regardless of the connection, that at this point you guys can never reconnect. You know, and that's a very finite amount of time that you guys spent, but for some reason there's some sort of blockage presenting itself here that might have something to do with the Seven of Swords. So I feel in certain situations it's just not meant to come back together, but there are also some really promising messages coming through here, especially with the Ace of Pentacles, because it's a fresh start. It's a new beginning, and this is also maybe like a solid offer of commitment or even long-term commitment like marriage. And look at that, we've got the Ace of Swords coming through. So this is clarity, much needed clarity, I feel, on behalf of the masculine. So that's coming through as a very positive sign that they really do want to be able to create change. So earlier we ended up getting the Ace of Swords also. So it's reiterating the fact that they see things in a very different light and are really wanting to do something to change things here for the better. So it seems to be coming through from a masculine who's ready to take action, to do whatever is necessary, Divine Feminine, to be able to come towards you in the right way, you know? He also sees you as this beautiful Queen of Wands, strong, confident, sexy, very attractive, you know. So maybe at one point in time, this was a masculine that pursued other people, not really focused too much on commitment and longevity or exclusivity in the relationship. You know, that could be why the Seven of Swords is right here. But in certain situations, like I mentioned earlier, it's finite. You know, there isn't a second chance coming in for some of you, but I feel it could be a blessing in disguise as well, because this is a masculine coming in with that Four of Cups energy. You know, so many regrets. It's like, why did I do this? Why did I say that? Why did I hurt my feminine in that way? Because this right here can represent the fact that it's too late to fix something that, you know, maybe they really have missed the chance to be with you. So it is kind of coming in 50-50 for me. For some of you guys, there's no movement because more than likely, again, somebody's committed elsewhere. It could be you or the person that you're thinking about. They could be married. Somebody could be married. Somebody could already be in a long-term commitment. That's what's standing in the way, because this right here created some drama, you know. But there are those of you who would be welcome to a reconciliation. I feel there's the opportunity for that to happen as well. And then we've got the Two of Cups right here. This person loves you. This person cares for you. They, in some instances, they messed up, you know, and they acknowledge that here. And since we're focusing specifically on the divine masculine, I feel this is a masculine who's maybe grown up. They're a lot more mature. They're tapped into their heart space, their emotions right now, and they're feeling the love that they have for you, when in fact, maybe before, they weren't interested in that. They wanted to play. They wanted to have their cake and eat it too, so to speak, you know? So that's kind of what I'm getting there, starting off, focusing on the masculine energy. So now I'm just going to open it up to whatever presents itself here for those who are tuned in. All right, let me see what deck I'm drawn to here. And anybody, again, who's interested in getting your own personal mini reading after the general love forecast, I'd love to be able to do that for you. So all that information is in the comments section. And also anybody, the other day, that was Sunday, right, Cameron? So somebody had made a donation via Super Chat. And so I've decided anybody who makes a donation of any kind below the amount for a mini reading, I'll go ahead and do like a 2-card pull for that person. Because, I mean, any donation or payment for a reading, it's much appreciated, guys. All right, so let's continue. Let's go ahead and see what else needs to come through for the general love forecast. And then, as I mentioned, we'll go ahead and get into any personal mini readings if there are any. So we have already tapped into the divine masculine. This is just opening it up for the overall energy, not specifically masculine, unless it presents itself in that way. So we see manifestation, dream come true, 3D materialization. I love it. We also have soulmates, kindred souls, spiritual bond, a deep connection. Beautiful. For some of you, especially my singles, this could be letting us know that you're about to make a love connection where it really can turn into something very special, you know, where you really feel this amazing connection unlike anybody else that you've ever met before. We do have first love, new chapter, infatuation, new romance, and the ability to be able to manifest that in the 3D. Let me grab one more here. Angels and spirit guides, please, for the collective, what do we need to know? Balance, equilibrium, stability, steady foot. And I have a feeling if you're relating to this situation, either you've met somebody that keeps you in balance, or you're just really trying to find this in your life because you have experienced relationships that brought you out of balance. And you ultimately could meet somebody that brings that in your life. Let's see what else. What else for the collective? For the collective energy. We have shadows, inner demons, hidden turmoil. So that could apply to you, the person watching, or of course it could be the person that you're focused on. And if they ended up disappointing you or hurting you, it might have something to do with the fact that they never healed from their own issues. They've gone through stuff but never took the time to heal from it. So let's go ahead and see what we can find out with some tarot cards here. Angels and spirit guides, please, for the collective energy, for those who are tuned in. So either you're single and about to amplify your love life, or you've already met somebody that you really do feel is your soulmate, but you also know what it's like to have connected with people that brought in a lot of their issues into the relationship, and that could have been something that you either took yourself away from, or you're learning from that experience on how to handle yourself in the future. All right, let's see what else. Look at this, guys. We've got the Two of Cups. So we saw that earlier. And it seems to me, regardless of where you're at on your romantic love life journey, that you have the capability to meet somebody that really is a good partner for you. This is coming through as a real soulmate energy. And it's a soulmate energy that will bring you into balance. So this all makes sense for me the way that this is coming through. Either this is a fairly new relationship, or again, you could be single and about to really amplify your love life. But it could also be those of you who reconnected or are about to reconnect, where you have a second chance to revisit the relationship. Could be something like that. All right, let's see what else. We've got the Six of Swords, okay, followed by the Four of Swords. I feel if you relate to it, you guys certainly know what it's like to have gone through difficult moments in your life. And sometimes, you know, we have this idea of who it is that we want to be with, and then it ends up not working out that way, because I feel the universe has a bigger plan for you. You know, we're seeing soulmate energy coming through here, new love, new romance on the horizon for those of you who are really looking for that. But there are also those of you who are in between relationships and you're just kind of needing downtime. You need time to heal, especially if somebody hurt you, or if you've been through like a tower moment or a third party scenario, which can be very hurtful. It takes time to overcome that. And then there's this need to leave something or someone behind. There's a transition that's presenting itself here, you know, out with the old, in with the new. But it could also represent new chapters for those of you who are reconnecting and just really wanting to interact with each other in a whole different way, much better than before, you know. So let's see what else. We've got the Strength card. For some of you, your person could be a Leo. You could be a Leo. So this is all about tapping into our inner strength, you know. And maybe sometimes we let our fears kind of get in the way. And this is a reminder for you to just be able to tap into the courage within you. Feel the fear, but go for it anyway. Whatever it is that you're wanting to manifest in your life, whether it's got something to do with your love life, whether it's got something to do with a particular goal or dream that you have. It could be very scary to, you know, put yourself out there. But as long as you recognize the confidence within you, in time, I feel this is something that can manifest in the 3D. And then that is followed by the Wheel of Fortune. Looks amazing to me, guys. So this can represent good changes. It can represent good karma. You know, you finally winning at life. There are changes that are coming in for you, the person watching this reading, and they're good changes. Whatever you're destined for, I feel your angel guides, the universe, will help you to get there, to be able to manifest that. That looks amazing. We also have the Fool coming through. That's followed by the Nine of Cups, you see? Fresh start, new chapters, wishes manifesting. So make it a good one, guys. Sometimes our wishes, our goals, our dreams are a lot smaller than what the universe can actually manifest for us. So it's really important to dream bigger, to wish bigger, because you just never know what it is that you can manifest. And occasionally it manifests in a very different way. unlike something that we already had in mind. And it's typically better than what we had envisioned. Okay, so that's what's presenting itself there. I really like the way that that's coming through. All right, let me grab one more set here, guys, for the general reading portion. So let me see here. Actually, I've been wanting to use the Romance Angels, so let's do that. So going back to love connections. And if you just hopped on, this is the general love forecast for this live stream. And anybody who's interested in getting a personal mini reading afterwards is more than welcome to request that. So my daughter Cameron is our moderator. She went ahead and put all that information in the chat. All right, guys. So one final set of cards focusing on love, romance. All right, for the collective, what do we need to know here? Trust. This situation is calling for you to have faith. And if you've experienced somebody that caused you to not trust them, that could be really hard to do. Okay, so let's see where the rest of this goes. You know, easier said than done. It's like the situation's calling for you to have faith. Okay, great. But what if the person that you're dealing with or thinking about cheated on you? What if they lied to you? What if they were being deceitful or manipulative? Whatever. So let's see. I got to know what the surrounding cards are. Cards flying everywhere. See? Pay attention to the red flags. And there were or are red flags presenting itself here. And of course, every situation is different. You will know what that red flag represents for your life, for your connection. You know, the more you ignore it, the more it's going to amplify itself. It's like, pay attention. There's something here that you need to know, or you need to pay attention to it because it could cause drama later. This is the next card, guys. We have codependency, okay? So it does say addictions are affecting your romantic life. So if it's affecting your romantic life, it can be very difficult. You know, that could be an obstacle that gets in between the two of you eventually, where it causes a lot of issues. So I'm going to go ahead and focus on that first, but I want to get a second set of Romance Angels cards later, because that won't apply to everybody. So if you feel that you're in a relationship and it's codependent, either they're codependent on you, or it could be you codependent on them. It could be mutual. It could just be toxic. It could be unhealthy, you know. So trust what you're seeing with your own eyes. Trust what it is that you're actually feeling in your heart. If you already know the truth, but you're ignoring it, then, you know, life will just keep handing you that lesson until you learn it. All right, let's see. What do we need to know here? What's with the trust issues? Wherever you are right now, pertaining to this situation, look, you've got the Wheel of Fortune. You don't have to stay in a situation or relationship where it's not 100% giving back to you, or it's not contributing to your life. You know, you have what it takes to change directions. You can actually take hold of your own destiny if this person just isn't doing it for you any longer. But the way it's coming through, we have red flags more than likely that are being ignored. And so you're the only one that can actually do something about that. You know, remove yourself from a situation if you have the ability to do so. And with the Wheel of Fortune coming through here, you absolutely do. This is a different direction. This is like a new cycle that wants to come in for you, but I feel there's some sort of blockage that's preventing this from coming in. All right, let's see what else. Look at this, guys. All right, so we've got the Devil card. We have the codependency card, the temptations, but the Devil card can also be representative of addictions, obsessiveness, unhealthy attachments, whether that's towards people, a situation, or trauma, whatever it is. So if you don't relate to that for yourself, it could be the person that you're still with or thinking about. There's something unhealthy coming through there that needs to be released. Let it go if you can. And then we've got the Seven of Cups. So, you know, this is life wanting you to make different choices, because there are better opportunities for you, not just in love, but other parts of your life that could be challenged. You know, there could be red flags maybe in your work environment, or even your friendships, people that you felt maybe at one point in time they were your ride or die, or you could depend on them anytime for anything, but maybe they're proving themselves to not be that type of person or friend, or even, of course, romantic partnership. You have what it takes, you know? Look at that. We've got the World. So there is, it seems, a cycle that will eventually phase out. It's on its way to completing, meaning that whatever the lesson is behind that, you either learn it or you move on from it. You take from it what would benefit your life moving forward. And this, for me, along with the Wheel of Fortune, it is representing a very nice new opportunity for change and better people, better experiences in every aspect of your life, not just your love life. And then we have the Two of Swords here, you see? So what's meant to move forward will. What's meant to stay behind will. You know, so it's like holding on to something or someone that you know you need to let go of, if that makes sense. All right, so that's a very specific message and storyline. So I'm going to switch gears because that will not apply to everybody. All right, let me get a different set of romance angels and see what else comes through here. Angels and spirit guides, please, for the collective, focusing on love, romance. What needs to come through here, please? This could be the one. That's nice. You've already met the romantic partner you seek. So if that's something that you relate to, you already know who this is focused on. There's somebody that has captured your heart more than anybody else. Look at that, soulmate. It's like clarification. Yes, this is your soulmate. Now, the Romance Angels deck, when I purchased this, well, I don't think it even has a twin flame reference, but for some of you guys, maybe you do feel like this goes beyond a soulmate connection and you actually feel like this person is your twin, right? So let's grab some tarot to go along with this. This person is the one for you. Maybe you needed clarification on that. This is interesting. All right, we've got the Four of Wands picking up off of twin flame. So soulmate, twin flame, however way you see your connection, your person, it's coming through with a very good energy that they're actually really good for you. The masculine is also showing up as the King of Cups. This is a masculine who's ready to commit fully, you know, loving, affectionate. This is a masculine who really wants to focus specifically on the relationship. And maybe there were outside factors that got in the way before. Or maybe it's been smooth sailing for some of you guys, where you guys didn't have any issues like that. And you just knew right from the start, this is my person. All right, let's see. What else for the collective if you relate to this one? We're getting lots of king, well, not lots. We've got two cards here. But there's really good energy focusing on the masculine. King of Pentacles. I mean, this is somebody that really has a steady footing. They know what it is, as far as what it is that they want. They could be quite successful maybe in their career. Their finances could be good. And ultimately what they're looking for is their ideal person, the soulmate or the twin flame that really can complete this person. Let's see what else. We also have the Three of Pentacles. So you know, again, who it is this card is representing, guys. And this is the one that you really feel is worth everything. And this right here focuses on teamwork. The two of you together can accomplish anything, whether love related or just life overall. The two of you together, you guys can overcome whatever challenges come your way. We also have the Empress. So Divine Feminine, this is a masculine who recognizes you as their person. They want to be able to perhaps get married, start a family. Some of you guys might have already, you know, had a child or children together. There's a very strong family vibe coming through that. But Divine Feminine, I mean, you really do have what it takes to build and create a life with your masculine, the kind that really can go the distance. And then we have, look at these cards, even though I'm putting them backwards over here. We have the Ace of Wands. So yes, I feel, my feminines, you have a lot of say in the direction that this connection goes, because you are, I feel, very empowered to create this ideal life with your masculine. And look at the overall destination here, guys. We've got the Sun. So this is somebody who will fulfill you, who will uplift you, who will truly bring so much joy into your life, and vice versa. You guys coming through in this reading, it looks like a really good match. So whether it's soulmate, whether it is the twin flame connection, for those of you who are apart in separation, but you still feel like, you know what, this is my person, even though we're not together right now, I feel life will find a way to help you guys find your way back, because the Four of Wands can represent a reconciliation. And then bottom of the deck, we've got the Chariot. So all of it looks really good. There is forward movement. There is progress. Whatever issues or challenges you guys might be facing, or maybe it's all in the past at this point, this is telling us that you will overcome that if it hasn't already been overcome. And this right here represents a really good future, a very positive outcome for both you, Divine Feminine, and your masculine. You guys, I feel, are coming through as a perfect match for this one. That looks amazing. So I love that particular message. All right, so let's go ahead and wrap up the general forecast here with one more set of cards. Let's see here. And then again, anyone interested in getting a reading, please let us know. And any donation, aside from the $22.22 for the mini reading, I'll be able to do a 2-card pull for anybody. So if you have a question, need guidance, I'd love to do that for you. All right, final messages for this general love forecast. What do we need to know here? So if you guys didn't catch the beginning of this live stream, I focused on the Divine Masculine. So once it's up and, you know, completed for the broadcast, you guys can go back and watch that. So we have beauty. I am beautiful inside and out. My imperfections are beautiful. Those who love my soul see all the beauty I possess. You know, you don't have to change for anybody. You should just be content in who you are as a person, inside and out. And you will make that ideal love connection with somebody who doesn't want to change you. They'll see the beauty that you have within you. So not only will they be attracted to you on the outside, but, you know, they're going to fall in love with who you are on the inside. So I feel this for my feminines, that there could be a masculine out there who really sees you as this person. So it's giving me Empress vibes right there. And then we have cleanse, and I feel based off of what we've seen here today, this could certainly pertain to some situations, because it does say clear your energy, make room for new energy, new mindsets, new relationships, new adventures, and new beginnings. If you want a reconciliation, I feel there's this old vibe that might be holding you guys down, and there's something that needs to be created here to bring in that new energy. But it could represent a completely brand new chapter for those of you who are really ready for that. All right, let's grab one more card here. One more card for the collective for this reading. All right. We have shadows. You cannot have light without dark. And what that reminds me of is, you know, sometimes life certainly has its fair share of ups and downs, and, you know, sometimes we're really depressed with how things are going, not only in our love life, but every aspect of our life. You know, to be able to appreciate the light, so to speak, and to be able to appreciate things when life is going well, you have to know what it's like to not have those good experiences as well. It's like experiencing a tower and really being content and fulfilled once you experience something outside of that experience. All right. I'm guided to one more, and then we'll clarify with tarot. We have captive. What beliefs are holding you captive? Can you let them out? They are not even real. Stop giving them life. So a lot of it has to do with mindset, guys. You know, if somebody is causing you to look down on yourself, or if they're just being very negative, you know, that could be holding you back from really pursuing your goals, your dreams, your wishes, whatever that is. You're not in a cage. You know, you can actually live the life that you truly want. So try to not let other people kind of get in the way of what it is that you want to pursue, whether it's a relationship or something else that means something to you, you know? Okay, let's clarify this. So this is interesting. We've got the Death card for some of you guys. You could be Scorpio. So this, for me, based off of what we're seeing here, guys, one chapter truly is coming to an end, if it hasn't already, and it's preparing you for the new chapter that really wants to enter your life, and it's bringing in some pretty good things. We're about to wrap up 2025 here, you know, and so 2026 might actually be a really good year for you. So what needs to fall away, let it fall away. Let it leave your life, because more than likely it's not meant to go the distance. So what that gives you is time to focus on yourself, to be able to focus on self-love, your shadow work, however way you need to heal during that time in order to create that metamorphosis, so that you can come out of this a better person, having learned the lessons behind it. Because this can also represent a new beginning once you go through that part of the journey. I'm not surprised to see the Tower. You know, I feel this comes in when change needs to happen. It really is a disruption, right? The disruption is necessary in order to rebuild something. Let's see what else. So Divine Feminine, truly, you're coming through in this reading as a very confident, uplifted, empowered person. You know what it is that you're wanting to manifest in this lifetime, not just your romantic life, but again, every aspect, you know, so don't let anybody bring you down. Let's see what else here. We also have the Three of Cups, celebration, community, and friendship. So we're in the holiday season, you know, tomorrow's Thanksgiving, depending, of course, on where you're at, but we're about to celebrate Thanksgiving in the States. And your friendships, the people that mean most to you, these are the people that you should dedicate your time to, for sure. And it could be an indication of your social life being really busy, maybe the remainder of November, which is almost coming to an end, and then December into the new year could be a very busy time for you. And let me grab one more card here for the collective. Look at this, guys. We've got the Star. Hope, rejuvenation, wish, fulfillment. So you got to ask yourself, as we wrap up 2025, what is it that you want to manifest in the new year? You know, what is it that you're hoping will happen in either a love connection or something else that you're focused on at the time that you're listening to this? Because you truly have the capability to bring it in, you know, even if you've got naysayers, even if you've got people that I like to call dream stealers, you know, you got to just follow your own path. If it feels right for you, if it feels right in your heart, then you follow that path. That illuminated path is what's going to get you to your destination. You know, it's your life. You get to decide where you go, right? Nobody can hold you captive in any type of situation, whether it's romantic, friendships, family, whatever the case is. You got to follow your own path. And if anyone's trying to hold you back from following that path, then, you know, it comes down to you being able to stand your ground, to be able to stand up for yourself. That is what I'm getting there. All right, guys. So that's what I have for the general love forecast. Is there anybody that would be interested in either a 2-card pull or a mini reading? So it's $22.22 for a mini reading here, guys. It can be about love or any other subject. but we've also had people that donated to the channel any amount, and I'll be happy to do a 2-card pull for those types of donations. So let me see here. I'm not seeing any requests at this time. So I guess we'll go ahead and wrap it up, Cameron. We will be, actually, no, we're not going to be doing one on Wednesday, right?
No.
Okay, so our next live stream, I'll go ahead and announce it on my Instagram page, which is The Celestial Forecast by Carrie. And of course, I'll announce it in my community tab here on YouTube. So typically we're doing the live streams Wednesdays and Sunday, but we've got something planned for next Wednesday, so we won't be doing it then. So we could either do it on Tuesday or Thursday. I'll go ahead and make that announcement. And hopefully you guys, oh, I'm losing my voice. Hopefully you guys can tune in for that as well. All right, guys, so that's what I have. And again, for those of you guys who are celebrating Thanksgiving, I wish you the very best. I wish you a very, very happy and blessed Thanksgiving, spending time with your family. All right, guys, that's it for now. Thank you for joining us. I hope that the general love forecast helps you out in however way it came through for you. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care.